Thank you guys for joining me on another video. Today's is going to be super fun. I've got an interview with Laura Howe. She is the author of this amazing book, and we're going to go talk about it. Please, if you want to see anything that we mention in this interview, it's going to be down in the description of this video. It'll be her website, a link to her book, and her social media if you want to check out more about what Laura does. Yeah, let's jump into it. Thank you, Laura, for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to talk about your new book.
Thank you.
What is the name of your book?
Happiness, Freedom, and the Open Road. Live and travel in an RV, van, or car for less than $25 a day. I lived in RV for 2.5 years, a regular size cargo van for 2 years that you did a video of. You did a great job of it. And my current mini cargo van for over a year.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, and it's been quite a while. I think the last time I saw you was when I did that video of your cargo van.
Actually, yeah, I think it was. We've just kept in touch with each other over Facebook and text messages, and we almost touched base in Arizona again, but I look forward to seeing you again. I miss hanging out with you.
Yeah, I miss our Candy Girl campfires.
Yeah, Candy Girl. I remember that when we first met. We should tell the story. Sitting around the campfire, it was me, a couple other friends, and you were next to us, and I remember you kind of scooched in a little closer because we were talking about something, and you said, "Oh, I want to know more about that." Do you remember what it was? I don't remember, though.
It was dishes. We were talking about cleaning dishes.
Oh, really? Like how to save water doing dishes?
Somebody was like, "Oh, I use vinegar," and I was like, "You use vinegar to do your dishes?"
Yeah, save water. You just could spray it on there and wipe it down. Yeah, I put actually a lot of little tips in my book that I've learned from other nomads, and I've learned myself on the road. But yeah, so that was cool. And then I remember, Karli, you decided to park in a wash.
Yeah, that was great.
You walked back to your van and it was like in a wash.
Yeah, she was like, "You need to move that." And I was like, "Why? Nobody's parked here. It's a good spot."
Like you did, kind of. And then, yeah, and you came over and you we were lucky to have you come hang out with us at our campsite. And then that was fun when we handed out candy to everybody. We went campfire hopping and we got that nickname, Candy Girls. So we're the original Candy Girls. That was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I still I don't know people, and then they'll come up to me like, "Oh, you got any candy?" And I'm like, "No." "Oh, wait, you were around one of those campfires."
I remember like one time we walked around and we didn't have any candy and everybody was really disappointed.
They were. They were like, "Don't you want us to come? You only want our candy?"
But you know what? When you did that video of me, my old van, I talked about in the end of it how I was going to sell the van and go to Morocco, which is exactly what I did. And I remember I was taking a train from one city in Morocco to the other, and I brought a big bag of candy on there and started handing out to everybody. Like, we didn't understand the same language, but that's candy, universal language.
Oh, you did that? That's awesome.
I carried on the tradition to another country. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
Thanks.
Well, and tell me about your backpacking, because yeah, the last time I saw you, you were like, "I'm flying to Morocco," and I was like, "Okay."
Oh, I had such a good time. I went for 9 months, just all over Europe, Morocco, Thailand, Vietnam, South America. It was an amazing time, and my purpose for writing the book is I want to show people that they can travel really cheap and have a really good time. You don't need a lot of money to travel. I mean, I know you've traveled overseas. I know you went to Cambodia. I think it was last year or the year before. You don't need a lot of money to travel. You don't need a lot of money to travel in a van or RV and have a good time, or overseas. But I learned a lot of things in my travels, and you have to be really cautious being a female traveler, solo traveler. But I love immersing myself in other cultures. I think it's a great way to grow and learn more about yourself.
Yes, definitely. That is so true. I love traveling for those same reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And So you took on the new challenge of writing a book and starting up your blog again, and how the inspiration for writing this book came from all your travels, but kind of why did you pick a guide instead of a memoir, or, you know?
I actually do want to write a memoir one day, because I used to read those a lot when I was younger. Even, you know, people, doesn't have to be somebody famous or anything. Everybody's got a story to tell. So I do want to write that one day, but I mainly want to do a how-to book because I see a lot of people get out there in RV, van life, car life, and they're a little lost, and you know they might not come out there with enough money. I mean, so I put financial tips and things like that in my book too, and how to find free and cheap campsites. But it was important for me to do a how-to guide. But then, of course, throughout the book, I share parts of my journey because that's how I learned the things I learned to pass on. And so, but I really had fun writing it. It was like the words just flowed out of me. It's like I just discovered a new passion writing. I love passing knowledge to help people. It was that part was easy for me. Some other parts were not easy, but you know, technology can be frustrating. So, yeah.
Yes. So I've read your book. I have it right here.
Of course, it's me jumping on the cover is me.
Yeah, yep, that's Laura.
Yeah, my boyfriend actually took the picture. I gotta give him some credit.
Yes, and that's your website right there, Travel Cheap Like a Pro.
Yeah, travelcheaplikeapro.com. I have information there about the other books I'm doing too. And a blog, a newsletter.
Yes. All of those good things. Yeah. I'm a part of your newsletter, and I do enjoy getting little notes from you.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks. I just sent one.
Yeah, you did. I remember your old blog, the one that you made for your father, and those ones were so interesting because you were like just doing kind of a daily diary, and then you go into like why things happened and like just kind of explaining the day, and it was more than any other blog that I had read, which I loved it, and I'm glad we started it up again.
Oh, thanks. Actually, I started a new blog with the Travel Cheap Like a Pro. That was an old one. It was called something different. But I mainly did that because my dad wasn't on Facebook, and I have some other family members that weren't on it, and they kept saying, you should do a blog, you should do a blog. So I finally did it. So it's more like, it's kind of like a journal to me too. So it's something I like to look back at as a journal, and then for my family to see it too, which my dad's on Facebook now. But that was the main purpose of doing it. But now I'm really glad I did it because I can look back at it. I mean, it's not online anymore, but I still have everything on it. And then also like doing this book was kind of a journal for me too. Like one day I might not remember these things. I want to remember them, you know, just like you have a blog too, right?
Yes, I do. And it's weird to go back and read the old entries.
Yeah, it's kind of fun going back and reading like, oh yeah, that was a good time. I love that. Yeah,
it's super fun writing. I'm glad that you are pursuing it more.
Thank you. I have a lot more ideas in my head, a lot more things I want to do. Because like I said before, you know, it makes me feel good to pass on knowledge that I think can help people. So yeah, the tech is a little difficult doing my website myself and trying to format the book to make it load properly on Kindle or on. So yeah, there's a lot of learning curve to that. Yeah.
What would you say is the hardest part to being an author and the whole process?
Probably formatting the book was probably the hardest part, and then I think it was really important if anyone reading this wants to write a book is somebody else to read it for you, get another set of eyes on it, somebody to proofread it for you. I have an English teacher friend that reviewed it for me, and he gave me some good suggestions, and he taught me actually how to be a better writer. So I mean, there's always something to learn, it was a long process. I treated writing my book and getting my website up so I have a place to promote my book and doing my social media accounts and all that. I treat it as a full-time job for 6 months. I don't have a job. This is my job now, I guess, being an author, which I'm very grateful, by the way, for everybody that bought it. Thank you so much, and thank you for the reviews. But I treated it like a full-time job for 6 months. It was a lot of work. If you don't have a lot of time and you want to write a book, you know, you might want to hire somebody to do the website for you and format it and things like that. But I'm the kind of person that I just love to do things on my own. It just makes me feel good. I like a challenge. So it was a fun process, though. A few times, you know, I wanted to throw my computer out the window, but the rest is yeah.
Yeah, I bet you did. I can attest to websites and all that kind of stuff making you very angry.
At the same time, I love technology. I hate it. We have a love-hate relationship. I mean, it can be irritating, but with technology, you can do so many different things these days. It's that part's pretty cool. I self-published because of technology, you know?
Yes, yeah. The process of self-publishing seems a lot more difficult than I don't know. I looked into it a little bit and I was like, wow, I would have to like sit down for 6 months and just learn about that specifically.
Yeah, you should write a book, Karli. You have lots of great.
Maybe one day.
Yeah. I mean, you got on the road pretty young. You should definitely write one for the young people.
Yeah. Well, what would you say is your favorite part to writing the book?
Just getting my words on paper, because I have all these words in my head, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to forget these things, and I want to share them with everybody. So that was my favorite part, just getting it out there, and then just remembering things I went through in the past. I'm like, just remembering all the fun stuff I did. I enjoyed that part, especially getting those parts on paper.
Yeah, I learned some things about you I didn't know. I had no idea that you were a travel agent for 8 years.
Yeah, 9 years. Yeah, I love being a travel agent. It was so much fun. But it shows you I'm older because back when we had a lot of travel agencies before people started booking online, I would get so excited about it because I've always loved travel. So I would always get like the highest sales in my office, the places I worked at, because I would be like, oh, you got to go stay at this hotel and go to this destination. I would just get so excited about it. But I chose a different career because, like I said, everybody started booking online. But it makes me feel good because I'm getting back to what I love, travel. That's something I'd rather do than, my last career. So I'm getting back to what I love, basically, teaching people how to travel and to do it cheap. And I think about the people that can't afford to travel, or they think they can't afford to travel. I want to show them they can. So you can work remotely, travel work remotely, get jobs while traveling. I worked in other countries. I worked in Australia and England and picked up house and pet sitting gigs in Spain and Argentina. So I want people to see there's a great way of life out there they could have. This is my way.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Yeah. I did notice that you wanted to write a few more books. What books are you looking to write?
Well, I want to write a book on traveling the world for less than $25 a day, because that's what I did when I traveled for 9 months, backpacking overseas. And then I want to write, I did go over working remotely and finding work while traveling in my book, but I want to do a really detailed long one on that with a lot of links to different companies that hire nomads, because it's something that requires a lot more pages. I need a new book. So that's the two things. And then I'm also thinking, I want to do some my memoir. I would really like to do a book. It doesn't have to do with travel, but I'll talk about it. To young people, like, teach them what I learned, through my adult life to hopefully help them. I learned so many good lessons that I really wish I knew when I was in my 20s. So I kind of want to do something like that, to reach out to other people. And, I have, when I was a teenager, I went through a lot of issues. And so that's something I want to put there. I just want to help people. I really, really do. It's not even about the money. I really just want to help people. I want to show people they can have a great life. I'm a super happy person, but I worked at it, you know? So it's things I worked on me through my life that I just want to share with people to help them. So I found some I'm passionate, super happy about. So I found some I'm passionate about, you know? So yeah.
That is awesome, Laura. I know you have so much energy and like you are such a free spirit. I love that you're putting it on paper for everyone else to see. You also have your YouTube channel, your blog, you're everywhere
Mhm.
right now.
Yeah, I found out I really have fun with YouTube. It's not monetized or anything, and I may not get enough subscribers or views to monetize it, but I'm still gonna do it because it's fun. I just film when we go places and we go to cool places. I just there anyway. I might as well film it, put it out there so other people can find it. So yeah, I enjoy doing that, and I enjoy watching your. You got a lot of cute videos.
Thanks. There's something about the video format of like you can talk about something, you can write a book about something, but video just gives it this whole like, oh, that's what it is. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's a big difference on video. And I'm very grateful for YouTube because before I hit the road, especially before I hit the road in my van, not the RV, just watching all these great YouTube channels of these great van builds, that's how I built up my van, watching YouTube. You know? So I'm very grateful for YouTube.
Yes, I agree. It's a great how-to on being a nomad, but um this guide is super awesome to have. I was looking through it just earlier and I'm so like you go through each individual type of vehicle that you could do, different ways to convert it, and even like what to do with garbage, what to do with insulation, how to, you know, all these different things that some people just kind of breeze over or don't even mention. And then you get on the road and you're like, how do I do my dishes?
Yeah, I put all the little things in there. The things, because I read a ton of books and watched a ton of YouTube videos before I hit the road, and there's things that I never saw in there. So, I mean, all the little things matter. And then, you know, of course, I talk about my snake bite in there.
Yes.
Important. So, yeah. But there's a lot of things to know. There's too many people that get out there that you know, I've seen RVs and trailers flipped over on the side of the road from people are not properly towing. I mean, I had a couple blowouts on my tires because I wasn't distributing the weight evenly in my RV. There's just a lot to know. Even if people don't buy my book, I think people really need to read some books and watch some YouTube videos before they hit the road because there is a lot to know. A lot. You know that.
Yes. And you go through a lot of different safety things and share your experiences and what to be afraid of and what to not be afraid of. And that's super awesome too.
Yeah. There's a lot of things people are nervous about getting on the road, like women traveling solo and things like that. But you really don't need to be scared as long as you're prepared. I think people get nervous about hitting the road because they don't know what to expect. But if you're prepared, you know what to expect, it makes your journey a lot more enjoyable and you could just travel more confidently and safely.
Yes, that is true. You just you need to know what you're doing and what you're up against. And right when I decided to go on the road, I wrote down a list of everything I was afraid of because I knew if I brought it out and like made it known what I was afraid of, then I could address it and prepare instead of just pushing it down and being just like afraid of almost nothing because I never talked about it and made allowances for if that did happen.
Yeah, I actually go over fear in my book, like a fear of what family friends will think about your decision, fear of traveling solo, things like that. But yeah, you do. You have to face your fears. If you just push them in the back of your head, you're not going to be happy. I mean, you got to bring them out. And you're like, okay, if this happens, I'm going to do this. You know, okay, I'm scared I'm going to be lonely on the road. You know what? I'm going to go to. I put the gatherings in my book. Ways to find gatherings and all that too, but you could just go online. You could find some gatherings also. And, you know, like if you have a plan of action for your fears, it helps you overcome them. So that's what I found anyway.
100%.
Mad. I was actually nervous about hitting the road in the van. I wasn't the RV. I stayed at campgrounds and met people. Then I discovered, van life to Bob Wells. Thank you, Bob Wells, if you see this. The Rubber Champ Rendezvous, which is where I met you at. I think it's important for you at the road to have some gatherings in place, a way to meet other people, join some Facebook groups. There's a lot of events listed on Facebook groups. So you have something to head to and meet other people. And you can learn a lot from other nomads. I love my nomad family, like you. Nomad life is pretty awesome.
Well, thank you so much, Laura, for joining me.
Oh, thank you. And I hope whoever watches this, I hope that you get on the road if you're not already on the road, even if it's part-time trips. Watch some of Karli's videos on her channel, lots of other YouTube videos out there of the cool places nomads can go. Thank you for inviting me and for reading my book.
Didn't you say that you have something pretty cool coming up about the book? A book signing?
Oh yeah, I did tell you that. I went by a bookstore here. To show my book to see if they would be interested, and they had me call the owner, and I called the owner, and he was really interested. So they're going to promote it for me and everything. I mean, it's not finalized. We still got to talk about like how we're gonna do the price, because obviously the bookstore gets part of the money. But they said it takes about 5 weeks for them to do the promotion and all that. So I'm kind of excited. I'm just gonna set up a little booth with my books. I never imagined I would do that, but it's fun. And I'm getting my magnet for my van on my book cover. I'm gonna put it on my van, so when I'm driving around town, everybody sees it. Why not, right?
That's cute.
So yeah, and we're headed. Grant and I, my boyfriend and I, are headed off to some new adventures soon. We're going to go on a road trip to Death Valley and the saline warm hot springs, and we're going on some overland trips, and we're going to the Channel Islands to go camping. We have a lot of fun stuff planned.
Oh, that sounds so much fun. I'm glad you're going to all those places.
Thank you. And a lot of this is free.
Yes, I bet it's going to be pretty cheap. And has Grant traveled very much?
Grant, he's an avid backpacker. He goes on a lot of overnight backpacking trips. I don't do the really long ones with him because, I have a little back issues and all. I can't do the long backpacking trips. But we are really looking forward to doing overseas travel together. Obviously, right now it's not the best time to do it. But one place on our list is Iceland. I've never been to Iceland. So I'm waiting for everything to open back up. He's got his second vaccine today, and I'll be getting mine soon. So I love exploring our country, but I'm really looking forward to getting back and out to other countries and exploring there too. But I'm glad it's still explore. We live in a great place. Can't fly overseas right now, but hey, we live in a great place. So we go off on a lot of road trips as much as we can.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining, Laura. Where can everybody find you?
Oh, my website, Travel Cheap Like a Pro. And I'm under that name on YouTube, TikTok. My son's in his 20s. He actually thought it was funny I'm on TikTok. But I love dancing. I go to dance gatherings, so I put the videos on there. And then I'm on Twitter and Instagram, and I have a Facebook page.
Cool. Well, anybody that wants to check those out, you can go down in the description below and see all those things. But I hope you have a good rest of your day, Laura, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
You again. Bye, Karli.
Bye. Good seeing you too. I hope you guys had a good time with me and Laura. We have had so many fun memories together and really enjoyed having her on the channel. Also, if you haven't already, check out this video that I did of her. She had a really fun time converting this van, and she has had lots of memories in it over the years. So go check out this video.